Welcome to Oak Tree Stories, timeless tales rooted in India. Here you'll find gentle, thoughtful tales drawn from our rich storytelling traditions, from ancient fables and folklore to heartwarming slices of modern Indian life. Each story is carefully chosen and lovingly crafted to be age appropriate and calming, with just a touch of wonder. So come, get cozy, and let the story begin. Hi, I'm Shalini, your storyteller. Before we begin today's story, I want to share something special. We recently received a beautiful drawing from Rukmini Arvind, who is 8 years old and lives in Windsor, Canada. Rukmini created her artwork after listening to our story, How the Peacock Got Its Colors. Her drawing is full of color, careful details, and imagination, and we are so happy to share it. Thank you so much, Rukmini, for sending it in. If you'd like to see Rukmini's artwork, you can find it on our Oak Tree Stories social media pages. And if you enjoy drawing too, you can send us your artwork inspired by any Oak Tree Stories episode. We love seeing the stories travel into your world. We will display your art on our social media pages and give you a special shout out on a future episode. Listen on, and at the end of this episode, I'll tell you exactly how you can send in your artwork too. Now, one more thing before we begin. We are really excited to share that we now create personalized commission stories. Stories written especially for a child, for their birthdays, milestones, and any special moment really. If that sounds like something you'd like to know more about, you can find all the details on our website www.oaktreebooks.in/Oak Tree Stories. All right then, now for today's story. The story you're about to hear today comes from Bengal in eastern India and has been told and retold in many forms over the years. Stories like this often place ordinary people in extraordinary situations. They remind us that cleverness doesn't always arrive loudly, and that patience and observation can sometimes matter more than strength. Today's story is called The Old Woman and the Runaway Pumpkin. It's about an old woman, a forest filled with hungry animals, and a very unexpected way of getting home safely. What follows is playful, rhythmic, and just a little mischievous. Okay then, find a comfortable spot, settle in, and listen closely. At the edge of a forest where the trees grew tall and close together, there lived an old woman in a small, neat house. She lived alone. Every morning she swept her doorstep. Every afternoon she cooked just enough food for one. And every evening she thought about her daughter who lived on the other side of the forest. One day she decided it was time to visit. She packed a small bundle, locked her door carefully, and stepped onto the narrow forest path. She had not gone very far when a lion stepped out in front of her. He was large, golden-maned, and spoke with great confidence. "Good morning," said the lion. "I regret to inform you that I am extremely hungry." The old woman looked up at him. "I see," she said. "That is unfortunate timing." "For you," said the lion politely. "For both of us," she replied. The lion paused. "You see," the old woman continued, "I'm terribly thin just now. All bones, very little meat, hardly a proper meal for a king." The lion frowned. This was true. But, she added, brightening, I'm on my way to my daughter's house. She feeds me generously. Soups, sweets, fried things, boiled things. By the time I return, I shall be quite plump. The lion considered this. It would be a shame, he said slowly, to eat a meal before it is ready. Exactly, said the old woman. Very well, said the lion. Go, but remember I shall be waiting. I would expect nothing less, said the old woman, and walked on. Not long after, a tiger stepped onto the path. Halt, said the tiger. I have been pacing this forest all morning and I am starving. The old woman sighed. Oh dear, she said. You too? The tiger blinked. Me too? Never mind, said the old woman quickly. The point is, you would not enjoy eating me at present. The tiger narrowed his eyes. Why not? Because I am thin, she said, unpleasantly thin. But I'm on my way to my daughter, who believes food is a form of love. She will feed me until I cannot move. The tiger thought for a moment. Then he asked, How long will you be gone? Oh, said the old woman, long enough to become very round. Said the tiger. Very well, go, but you must return. I sure will, said the old woman, and she walked on. She was just rounding a corner when suddenly a wolf appeared. He didn't growl or snarl. He simply stood there and looked at her. I have been following you for some distance, he said, and I think I have waited long enough. The woman stopped. She looked at him calmly. Oh, she said, that would be inconvenient. Inconvenient? Asked the fox. Yes, she said, because you plan to eat me and I am not ready. The wolf blinked. Not ready? He repeated. Not at all, said the old woman. If you were to eat me now, you would be left with a mouth full of bones and very little satisfaction. She tapped her arm thoughtfully. I am far too thin. You would regret it. The wolf frowned. This was not how his meals usually spoke. I am on my way to my daughter's house, the old woman continued. She feeds me generously. Stews, rice, fried things, sweets. Especially sweets. The wolf listened despite himself. When I returned, she said, I shall be slow, heavy, and worth the trouble. The wolf considered this. And you will come back? He asked. I came through this forest, said the old woman. I will come back through it again. There is only one path. The wolf stepped aside. Very well, he said. I will be waiting. I would expect you to, said the old woman, and walked on. Finally, after the path had twisted and widened and the forest had begun to grow lighter, a fox stepped out in front of her. He did not block the path. He simply walked alongside her for a few steps, as if they were old companions. You know, he said pleasantly, it's quite unusual to see someone walk this far through the forest without being eaten. The old woman stopped. Is it? She asked. Yes, said the fox. By now most people have met someone. A lion perhaps, or a tiger, possibly a wolf. The old woman looked at him. I've met a few, she said. The fox smiled. That tells me you didn't come through this forest by accident, he said. The old woman adjusted her bundle. No, she said, I didn't. She waited for a moment. Then she added, And since you're already guessing, I may as well tell you the rest. And once again, she explained. She spoke of her daughter on the other side of the forest, of how thin she was now, of how well fed she would be, and of how different she would be when she returned. The fox listened carefully. So, he said at last, you're saying that if I wait, I will be rewarded with a better meal? That is exactly what I'm saying, said the old woman. The fox considered this. He walked a small circle around her. He tapped the ground once with his paw. He said. The others may rush. I prefer to plan. That shows, said the old woman. The fox smiled at the compliment. Very well, he said. Go on then. I shall be right here when you return. I would expect nothing less, said the old woman, and walked on. Not long after, the trees thinned. The light opened up, and she reached her daughter's house. She stayed many days. She ate very well. She rested. When it was time for the old woman to return home, she told her daughter everything. She spoke of the lion, the tiger, the wolf, and the fox, of the promises she had made, and of how they would all be waiting. Her daughter listened without interrupting. At last she said, Then we must make sure they do not recognize you. And we must make sure they do not catch me, said the old woman. Yes, said her daughter, that too. They went out into the garden together. Behind the house, vines had spread across the ground, heavy with pumpkins. One of them had grown much larger than the rest, wide, round, and hollow sounding when her daughter knocked on it with her knuckle. Her daughter stopped. That one, she said. The old woman looked at it carefully. It looks like it will roll, she said. And it is bigger than you, said her daughter. Yes, and round, said the old woman. Very round. They stood there for a moment. Then the old woman smiled. Cut me some holes, she said, for my arms and legs. Her daughter laughed softly. I never understand your ideas until they work, she said. They worked quickly. When it was done, the old woman stepped inside. She shifted her weight. The pumpkin wobbled. Careful, said her daughter. I am being careful, said the old woman. I'm just seeing how fast it can go. With a gentle push, the pumpkin began to roll. Roll, roll, roll along, down the forest way. Round and round without a sound, the pumpkin rolled away. The pumpkin rolled past the fox first. Have you seen an old woman? Called the fox. No, said the pumpkin. Only me, rolling along. The fox frowned. The pumpkin rolled on. Roll, roll, roll along, down the forest way. Round and round without a sound, the pumpkin rolled away. It reached the wolf. Stop, said the wolf. Pumpkins do not roll like this. Perhaps you have not met many pumpkins, said the pumpkin, and rolled on. The fox came running. It spoke, he said. I am certain it spoke. The fox and the wolf stared. The pumpkin rolled on. Roll, roll, roll along, down the forest way. Round and round without a sound, the pumpkin rolled away. It rolled past the tiger. The tiger stepped aside, startled. The fox and the wolf arrived behind him. That is her, the old woman, said the fox. I thought so, said the tiger. They all ran and chased after the pumpkin. The pumpkin just rolled faster. Roll, roll, roll along down the forest way. Round and round without a sound, the pumpkin rolled away. The pumpkin rolled on until it reached the widest part of the path. There the lion was waiting. He had been watching carefully. As the pumpkin came closer, he stepped forward and placed one heavy paw against it. The pumpkin stopped. "Enough," said the lion. "Old woman, come out." For a moment, nothing happened. Then the pumpkin shifted. The old woman stepped out, brushed the dust from her clothes, and looked around. "Well," she said pleasantly, "here I am." The lion studied her. "You do look different," he said. "Heavier." "I did say I would," said the old woman. By then, the others had arrived. The tiger came first, breathing hard. The wolf followed, eyes fixed on her. And the fox slipped in last, already smiling. The old woman looked at all of them. "How nice," she said. "You're all here." She folded her hands. "Now then," she continued, "before we go any further, we should be clear about something." The animals leaned in. "I promised each of you that you could eat me when I returned," she said calmly. The tiger lifted his head. The wolf stepped closer. The fox's smile widened. "But," said the old woman, "I'm only one old woman." She looked at the lion first. "You were waiting longest," she said, "so perhaps you should go first." The lion straightened. The tiger immediately protested. "That is not fair," said the tiger. "I have been waiting just as long." The wolf growled. "I followed her the longest," he said. "That should count for something." The fox cleared his throat. "Gentlemen," he said smoothly, "clearly this requires careful consideration." The old woman nodded. "Exactly," she said. "There is no need to rush." The animals began to argue. Their voices rose. They spoke over one another. Each was certain he was the most deserving. No one noticed the old woman take a small step back. No one noticed her slip into the pumpkin. And by the time they did notice, the pumpkin was already rolling. Roll, roll, roll along down the forest way. Round and round without a sound the pumpkin rolled away. The old woman rolled all the way home, unlocked her door, and sat down to rest. And in the forest, the four animals were still arguing about whose turn it had been. That was The Old Woman and the Runaway Pumpkin, a folk tale from Bengal. If you enjoyed today's story and would like to support Oak Tree Stories, you can do so by making a donation on our website. Your support helps us keep these stories going. If you'd like to share a drawing or a painting inspired by one of our stories, please share it with us using the art submission form on our website www.oaktreebooks.in/Oak Tree Stories. And grown-ups, if you'd like to stay connected, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Oak Tree Stories. Until next time, keep listening, keep imagining, and remember, sometimes the smartest thing to do is to simply keep rolling.